The following story and photos are from GiantPandaKing's book, Gotham 1919 to 1939, by Russell S. Beatty. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's time for me to leave Gotham in different hands now. It's time for the bat to end.
When adversity strikes regular people, it can cause many different reactions. Some people complain about their lot in life, others just push through and carry on. In some cases, it can push someone over the edge. In the case of Stephanie Brown, adversity caused her to step up and don the identity of the spoiler. In the case of Tim Drake, who saw unrest in Gotham City, it pushed him to deduce the Batman's identity and become the third person to take up the mantle of Robin. These two unlikely heroes would eventually be pushed together to face even more adversity. This would give them the chance to break off from the shadow of the Bat and come into their own. This was something that both Tim and Stephanie wanted, a chance to prove to Gotham and themselves that they had what it took to protect the city. This also came with its own complications and challenges, its own dangers and evils. Tim Drake had been Robin up until the events of the Shadow War. With the revelation of Bruce Wayne's biological son, Damian, it became clear that Damian wanted a hand in helping bring Ra's al Ghul to justice. Tim saw the fire burning within Damian and graciously stepped aside to let the boy become the fourth Robin. With this decision, Tim found himself in need of a new moniker. He initially took up the name Red Robin in his fight against crime, and he used this up until the end of the Shadow War. After those harrowing events, he felt hollow. So much death and loss. And his new moniker wasn't really new. It was a rehash of his previous one. It was a reminder of those battles and all that death and loss. When the spoiler joined the Bat team, a lot of things changed for Tim. He found a kindred spirit in Stephanie, and she in him. The more they patrolled together, the more clear it became that they worked very well together as a team. Both of their analytical minds made them a perfect crime-fighting duo. Together, Tim and Stephanie came up with a new moniker for Tim. He let go of his past alter ego as Robin and changed his vigilante code name to Redwing. It signified a sort of taking flight with his crime-fighting career. They crafted a new uniform for him as well. It incorporated elements of his previous one, but also more protective. It resembled the Batman's uniform in some ways too, but Tim found a way to make it his own. With an earless cowl, a utility bandolier and belt, and a fresh mindset, he set out feeling like a new hero. Both the spoiler and the Redwing set out to seek out criminality and put a stop to it, whatever it might be. Things went very well at first. The rest of the Bat team had nothing but praise for the two as they dispensed justice in Gotham. Bruce Wayne had started easing back on his patrols as the Batman. He was tired and he was relying on his comrades more and more. The Bat would often warn them not to become too used to victory. He had seen that mentality go awry more often than he cared to remember. The Redwing and the spoiler took this to heart. While seeking independence from the Bat's shadow, they still mostly respected the advice he had to give, even if there was still an occasional feeling of annoyance or exasperation. As it would soon turn out, this advice would come to both of their minds quite often in coming months. With the appearance of villains such as Professor Pig and the Calendar Man, a new breed of criminal was starting to rise, not just in Gotham, but in America. It would take all of the Redwings and the Spoiler's skills combined to combat it. Even then, it would not be enough, and they would have to turn to a former enemy for assistance. With danger on all sides, the Redwing and the Spoiler would have to rely heavily on each other. This was the only way they could come out on the other side of this conflict, unscathed. With Gotham running rampant with costume criminals, the Bat Team would be stretched thin. The Batman would have to become more active, putting aside his physical tiredness and mental exhaustion. It would be a harrowing time for the Bat Team. At times, the darkness looming over Gotham would seem unbearable. Only by relying on each other and the people of Gotham would they emerge victorious from this prevalent darkness. In the meantime, the Redwing and the Spoiler would continue their own crusade unhindered and blissfully unaware of what was to come.